what's up, Instagram Live? Welcome. As you're tuning in, I'd love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. I have a good friend that is about to join us from India who has some tips for day number, I don't even know what day this is, day number 27 maybe, of our high perform 100-day personal performance and business growth challenge. We're going to be talking about how to better your sales today. And in just a few moments, he should be joining us. But as you're tuning in and we're waiting for him, I'd love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. Hello from Brazil. Hey, there he is. I see that he's joined. Hit that request button, and I'll go ahead and link us up so we can do a little side-by-side chat here. Priya, nice to see you. Sakshi, I love that name. Greetings from Chile, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Ooh, it is chilly up there. Hello from Miami, welcome. Melbourne, grateful I'm alive, watching you, and that is Tuesday, very nice. Hello from India. Good day, Australia. Greetings, friends. Let's see, let me see if I could find, him real quick and invite him. How do I search? Oh, there's the search. A-R. Oh, there he is. Let's see if it'll work. Did it work? Here we go. Waiting for him to join. Again, as you're tuning in, love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. Hey, there he is.
Hi, Jairek. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. And yourself?
Awesome. Good evening from in Delhi.
Hey, good evening. So I told everyone that you were going to join us because I know you're working on your first book, and you wanted to share some sales tips with us here today. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to dive in and let's share with people what are a handful of sales tips they could do if they're trying to grow their sales.
Okay. First of all, thank you for this opportunity, Jairek. It's great to catch up with you. It's been a long time. And okay, just being honest with you,
and hold on,
I don't.
Before you dive in, the last time we hung out, I'm very, very grateful because you took time to come and drive across town and pick me up when we were visiting. And then we had a beautiful day that we went to a local store and loaded up on a bunch of food and snacks and hygiene items. And then we drove around and you helped us find people in need locally. And together we all handed them out to people in need. And I just, I want to say thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for
You're welcome. You're welcome, Jairek.
Taking us around and guiding us that day.
Thank you.
And for everyone who's watching, this is a very, very good man, and he's about to share some very, very useful tips with you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Just want to share something with you all. So I don't come from a family of salespeople. Everyone in the family, my friend circle, most of them had been in government jobs or in the IT department, IT sector. So I myself being an IT guy, I'm an engineer by education. I was designing iPhone mobile apps for an IT company in India. By chance, I got this opportunity to get into sales. So sales is something which doesn't come to me naturally. I learned it over a period of time, So right now, I've been into sales for almost 5 years, Jairek. And something which I felt was missing initially in my journey was that I didn't have too many people to teach me how to sell. So I had to really dig deep as to find out what sales is all about. Because when we're growing up, no one teaches us how to be a salesperson as you grow up. They can teach you to be a lawyer, they can teach you to be a doctor, they teach you to be an engineer. But somehow they do not teach you how to be a salesperson. So it was initially a bit tough for me to find out as to what sales is all about. But yes, over a period of 5 years, I found something very interesting. That's why I just intend to share with you all today. If you are yourself a salesperson, you're working for someone in sales, or maybe you're running your own organization. You're yourself an entrepreneur. Somewhere down the line, you're doing sales somewhere at any point in time in your life. So sales is something which we can't run away from, or can't run away actually in our lives. So if you can master the art of selling, you will never ever have to worry about the next meal in your life. So yes, but one thing which I found was that there are a lot of books out there, Jairek, which talk about how to sell. They teach you what tricks to be played in front of the clients. They teach you at times how to dress up, what statements to use, what phrases to use in front of your clients. But somehow, there was something which I felt was missing in all maybe the books you find, the videos you watch. And that something pushed me to write something about sales. This is what I'm trying to get into my first book as well, Jairek. And herein, I'm just trying to connect the dots. Now, dots is something, because you talk about any successful salesperson out there, Jairek, maybe the person is working in a banking industry, insurance sector, automobile, or any sector in the world. There's certain common traits and characteristics which binds all the salespeople. Now, how to talk, how to pitch, how to dress up, these things do matter. But at the bottom, at the core, there are certain daily processes which are followed by all the salespeople in every part of the world. Now, this top 1% of salespeople is what I call as the peak performers. Now, they become peak performers not because of following a rocket science stuff. They become peak performers because they're following certain daily habits. They're going through certain basic processes on a daily basis. Day in and day out, they're following and practicing what I call as rituals. So it's important to understand and grasp certain common rituals which you can find in all the peak performers across the globe. Now, if I can talk about from my perspective, how I see as rituals. Now, rituals could be is something very basic, which at times, a lot of salespeople who are new in the industry, who are new in the organization, they overlook. I will not say it's their fault, but at times, a lot of SMEs are out there, small and medium enterprises, who at times don't have that much time to impart the training to the new employees. So it's at the end of the day, the onus is on them to become better in sales. Now, for that, probably you'll have to study the best of the best in sales. And that's what I've been doing for a very long time. And one common ritual which I found, Jairek, in all the salespeople out there is that the top 1%, the peak performers, they take good care of their health, This might sound very basic, that maybe, something which a lot of us at times ignore as well. But the best of the best, the peak performers in sales, Jairek, they take care of their body. They believe in exercising. They believe in yoga. They believe in the gym. Now, we must be thinking, what it has got to do with my selling, what it has got to do with my pipeline, what has got to do with the revenue which I'm bringing for the company. But the reality is that if your body is in place, if your health is good, there is no limit to the amount of money you can earn. If your body is not fit, if you're disease prone, you will be ending up on bed every single week. This will hamper your sales. This will hamper your efficiency. This will hamper your productivity. So it's important that the first basic thing, the first ritual a peak performer follows on a daily basis in sales is taking care of their body, exercising. If you don't exercise, if you don't have time for exercise, then you're going to have time for the diseases. So the very first thing probably you do before you go out for a client meeting is you try to get up early in the morning, hit the gym, lift the weights, or maybe just go out and do up 45 minutes running. Because the body is fit, my mind is fit, I can be creative in my work. I can work for longer hours. As you know, as the founder of the Virgin Airlines says, that if I does the exercise of 1 hour every day, his productivity increases by 4 hours.
Yep.
So I think this is a very common ritual which I've found that in all these successful salespeople, the top 1%, the cream of peak performers in sales across all the industries, be it automobiles, insurance, sales, So this is what I feel at times, there are a lot of people who are new into sales, maybe they're just learning up how this industry works. So my sincere recommendation to all of them is that just stick to the basics. And the basics starts with taking care of your body. Take stock of your body.
Right.
So this is a common, ritual which I believe we can. It's not difficult to implement. You can start from today itself.
That's right. I love it. There's a layer that's what's going on there too. When you're taking care of your body like this, when you go get that aggressive workout first thing in the morning, it's setting off a cascade of biochemical reactions in your body. It's setting off adrenaline. It's setting off your endorphins. Your endorphins make you happier. Your skin starts to glow, and then you become more attractive. More attractive all of a sudden causes people to like to be around you. You become funnier. Like you said, your mind is clear, so you can think on your feet and come up with objection handling in the moment. And all of a sudden, like you said, the tricks people are teaching you, the laws of influence, the law of reciprocity, the law of scarcity, whether it's certain tactical tricks or mental or emotional things you're doing to draw attention to your product and get people through it. If you're your best self, you're raising your chances of absolutely being able to make that magic happen.
And this is why, this is why, Jairek, I really believe, this thing really resonates with me when Richard Branson, the founder of Vision Group, he talks about that if we exercise this for 1 hour every day, he's able to work for 4 extra hours.
Right.
Now, this is something which is coming for a person who is already a billionaire, who has already reached the pinnacles of success. Now, that thing, really corroborates with what I'm saying.
Yep.
So yes, I mean, this is something which I believe that a lot of people out there just starting their journey in the sales industry can benefit from this. Because my health is good, there's no limit. The sky is the limit in that case. The sky is the limit.
It's true. I've been watching the comments and someone says your relationship with your gut is your second brain, because literally the food you're putting in and how your body's processing it is either helping you have more energy and fuel, or it's robbing you from it and distracting you from it. And it's either giving you more energy because it can break it down quickly, use it, and cause you to feel energy, or it's wasting energy because it's making your body have to work 2, 3, 4, 5 times as hard just to process the food you put in. And around the world, this is a very interesting thing, because as you go around the world, there's all different thoughts and beliefs and strategies on what's healthy and what's not. What are you supposed to eat and what are you not supposed to eat? What's good for you and what's bad for you? And it's interesting, the way I've learned to differentiate that is I just look for the places where people live the longest and the healthiest and the strongest with the most energy. And I go, okay, what the heck are they eating? Because they have lots of energy, they live a long time, and they seem to have a good life. And
correct. Right.
And in those moments, I always use them as an example and say, okay, I'm going to pay attention to whatever that person's doing, because they're making a long time. And I think your sales will go up if you have many more years to keep selling as well. So if you could add another 20 years to your life, that's another 20 years of income you could be creating, which means you're going to be earning 20 more years more than anyone else. So I think, like you're saying, not only taking care of your health, but then also making sure that you're in the type of position where you can extend the amount of time you keep doing something. I'm very proud of my grandma. She's been in insurance sales for 43 years, I think. She's in her 80s and still does cold calling 3 days a week. And I asked her, I said, Grandma, are you going to retire? And she's like, people who retire die, man. Like, I don't want to die. Like, I enjoy this process.
That's right.
And so one thing that's interesting, health, I would say, is number one. When my wife and I were visiting, we got taken to some of the local markets where it's set up to sell, and it's really good. And my wife, after watching 3 or 4 people take us through the sales process locally, literally stopped one of them and said, "This has got to be the best sales pitch I've ever been through." And it was beautiful. I mean, the way they teed it up, the way they built rapport, the way they kicked in the law of reciprocity of offering a small gift when we arrived, offering water or tea or something, the way that they built interest by taking us around and showing us all the famous people that have been there, all the royal people that have been there, all the very powerful people that have been there. They let us know our identity, that we too must be powerful and wonderful. I noticed they asked us where we were from, and no matter what country, they said, "Wow, such a powerful and beautiful country you're from." They acknowledged something about you. I was watching every bit of this process, and it was spectacular. But like you said, there's some people who are born into families or situations where they've taught this at a very young age, and everyone doesn't.
Yes.
Then you've done something magnificent, which is you took a different background and were able to transition over. I was reading, I don't remember her name. There's a young girl who was born in a farm side in India who just became one of, I think she's the 3rd or 4th fighter pilot for the Indian Army.
Right, recently,
For her to transition from living on a farm to becoming a fighter pilot, she's transcending across what's normal in that, or what people call normal in that situation. And you know, that happened in my family. My dad was kicked out at 17 years old, was living in the back of his car, was homeless, and he rewrote the stars for our family's destiny. He made a transition, and he crossed over a boundary into what he believed was possible to open up more options for my family. And he did a very good job. And he worked very hard at making that possible. And it sounds like you've done the same, where you started off in a certain sector, and you've decided to transition over to another opportunity to give yourself more options. How, if I may, how did you make that transition? What was the decision you had to make? What was the path you had to walk? Because if people are watching and they're thinking, no, I'm born in, my family are all plumbers, and so therefore I have to grow up and be a plumber. And it's like, no. You can cross the boundary if you want to, but how did you do it? How did you get over that bridge?
So, Jairek, so what happens is, in our country, in India, as you're aware, there are a lot of people who are doing an IT jobs right now. There are a lot of IT professionals. India is known for an IT software industry. So a lot of IT companies, it's easy to find jobs also here compared to other sectors in India. But yes, for me, that was something which I got as a part of my education system. Because of being an engineer by education, I somehow landed a good job in the IT sector. I worked there for 2 years, but somehow that was something which wasn't coming directly from the heart. There was something which told me, Harmeet, you can do this for the rest of your life. You can do this for the next 20 years, but you're going to be an average performer. There was nothing in me which was pushing me to break that barrier of average. Somehow my soul was not convinced that if you do this for a longer time, they're probably going to be happy. So the conviction was not coming from within, one. Secondly, I wasn't in sync with what my soul was telling me. So I took that jump, I took that leap of faith, I call it, and landed in sales, So for me, even at that time also, Jairek, I was in a scenario in the first 90 days of my job where I was performing really bad. I was again on the cusp of quitting. Even when I landed a job in sales, I was on the cusp of quitting. But somehow, a statement, I really mean that, a statement changed something for me. Now, I read it somewhere, if you're not good at something, Jairek, become great at it before you quit.
I like that.
So that changed everything for me. I always say this to all my family and friends. That this one statement, this one line has always pushed me hard to move the barriers. So it was initially a leap of faith which I took. But again, once I was there, it was tough for me. I was on the cusp of quitting again. But when this statement, this phrase came before me, it changed me altogether. I decided that now it's going to be now or never. If I just keep on quitting every single day, every single time, I'm always gonna end up as a loser. So if I don't push it from within, if I don't push it from inside, it's always going to be hard. But something which also kept me in this industry, which has always helped me as well to become successful is because I've always believed that sales is something which all of us should learn. If I can't become good in sales, probably if I go to any other sector or if I start my own business, I'm not going to succeed because I don't know how to sell. So in order to become successful in any area of my life, I decided that first I have to master this aspect, this world of selling. And since then, that has kept me here. And the journey I've tried not to just to keep to myself, but to take it to the next level. I really intend to take it to the masses and tell them that yes, sales is something which we all need to learn. And it's not difficult to learn. It can be imbibed in order to do that. And if you become good at selling, you can succeed in every sphere of your life.
That's right. I think what's interesting about that, there's another layer. Sales is the common word we use for it. Influence is the other word we use. And influence, if you can't influence yourself to eat healthy, you're going to be unhealthy and unfit. If you can't influence yourself to work out every day, you're not going to have a great life. If you can't influence yourself to say I'm sorry when I'm wrong or say the thing that needs to be said in the moment when it's uncomfortable, it's going to be very difficult to have a conversation. If you can't influence yourself to make your sales calls, your business isn't going to be very big. If you can't influence yourself to go through the negotiation that's necessary to get the results you want, you're not going to get what you want. It's interesting. Influence is everywhere. If you can't influence your child to clean their room, you can't influence yourself to study. You're not going to know very much. It's this confluence. It starts with personal influence, which is our beliefs about what's possible. And then once you can influence yourself, you got to say, okay, can I influence myself? Now can I influence someone directly? Meaning when you're present, you can influence them to do something. And when you're not there, they don't do it. But when you're there, they do it. Now that's so much influence. Can you influence them beyond that? That's level 2. Can you go to level 3 where you influence them so much that even when you're not around, they continue to do the right thing. So someone says, if I'm a medical practitioner, do I need to learn sales? Absolutely. And I don't know, this guy's PewDiePie. Okay. The answer is yes. And someone who is good at sales in the medical field saved my life when I was living in Uganda. I was living in Uganda teaching organic farming, and I got malaria, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Here, just take this," and threw the pill at me, and I was like, I don't believe in that. I'm not interested. My body will heal itself. I just need to go home, meditate, relax, breathe, drink some vegetable juice. I'll be fine. Didn't take the medicine. Went to a second doctor because it got a little worse. He said the same thing. Here's the medicine. Just take it. You'll be fine. Didn't take the medicine. Got worse. Third doctor was good at sales. He sat me down and he goes, first off, I think this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard that you're not taking the medicine. And he said, second, let me sell this to you. Let me help you figure this out. He said, do you use sunscreen? And I said, yes. He goes, that's topical medicine. That's medicine on your skin. And I was like, I don't buy that. And he goes, well, watch this. Watch this. He says, do you use aspirin when you have a headache? And I said, no. And he goes, okay. He goes, let me see. Here, let me show you. He said, let me show you this. So he took a blood test. He put my blood up on the screen, and he showed me that I had 55,000 parasites per one red blood cell. That's not a good number. And I was like, And he said, let's do the math. Let's figure out what your future looks like if you do this. He's future pacing, which is a sales technique. So he sat me down. We did the math, and he says they double every 8 to 10 hours. So 60,000 times this, how many blood cells, blah, blah, blah. He did the math, and then he held up a piece of paper, and he goes, so this is you in about 6 days. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh, boy, what does that mean? And he said, well, if this is what happens in the next 6 days, that means your body will not be able to sustain itself, and that means you're dead.
Yeah.
Now, his ability to sell me on that saved my life. As a medical
And he succeeded, huh? He actually succeeded in doing that.
Thank God, otherwise I'd be dead. But it came down to the medical professional's ability to sell me on what the future looks like if I don't make this decision or if I do make this decision. Now, the other two medical doctors are great doctors, but they were shitty salesmen. They just took the medicine, take it, and threw it at me. And I said, no. That wasn't a good thing.
Right.
Now, it's still my fault. I'm not blaming a doctor. That was my stupidity for allowing myself to go down the path and get worse. But I wish I would have sought doctor number 3 first, because he would have sold me on it a little harder, and I probably would have taken the medicine earlier and not had to go through so much shit throughout those months. And so
That's right. That's right.
Hold on one sec. In this country of practicing, and we do not need to sell people's lives. We're here to save, not to fill our pockets. I entered this profession so that I could be the only thing standing. I got it. So with that medical profession, though, I'm just giving you an example of someone who literally saved my life by selling me on why I needed to do what he was telling me to do. There's also something that goes on in the world where people say, hey, because I'm the professional, you must listen to me. And other people go, okay, why should I listen to you? And they walk away. And the piece is not about selling them, and this might be a misunderstanding. Selling them to try to make money from them is a low form of sales. Selling them on why they need to be healthier or happier or more fulfilled. Selling them on why they need to become a more educated person. Selling them on why they need to become a better parent. Selling them on why they need to become a better spouse. Selling them on why they need to do more for their community and give more to their local community and help out in the local schools. It takes sales. You got to influence them. You got to sell them on these things. I think people confuse sales and money. Doctors should be selling people on their health. Here's why you need to eat healthy. Here's why you need to work out. Here's why you need to feed your mind good things. Here's why you need to take care of yourself. Most doctors sell people on fixing problems instead of solving them so they don't have to deal with them in the same way.
Right. And also, Jairek, just want to add one more point quickly to that. People, as they always say, they hate it when they are being sold, but they love to buy. So in today's era, you can't just go and sell to people. They're very smart. They're smarter than you. They're going to shift to the next person ASAP very quickly. So it's important to understand that, you just can't keep on deceiving people in the name of selling. It's an intelligent generation. People are really very smart. They can figure it out if you're genuinely trying to help them out or just trying to sell a product over the shelf.
And that's what's changing. There's a thing online where people are talking about building your social brand, building your personal brand, building your online identity. Another word for that is building your reputation. Because right now, at some point in history, you could travel around the world and you could run into a person and they could do you wrong, and most likely you'll never see them again. Nowadays, I was buying a scarf from a local merchant just inside a little place in Delhi. Him and I are friends on Instagram. I know where his ass is. If he screwed me in the deal, I'll find his fucking ass when I visit again, and I'll come say hi. And I know who he is. Luckily, he told me some great stuff. But nowadays, doesn't matter where you live. I have friends who live in villages in Uganda that don't have electricity, but I know their Instagram profile and their LinkedIn profile, and we're buddies. What I say about them can catch up to them nowadays because everyone in the world is connected. At least half of us right now with 3 billion people online, but the other half will be online in the next coming years in some sort. But it's wild. It's wild. And so I think another element of sales that might be very true for people is you have to do right by people. I just watched a guy who's an influencer in America who has a very popular show, and all these people love him. And the God honest truth is his cover has been blown. He was an an internet marketer who came and created an identity of being this big-hearted, caring guy to show people how much he cared, to then, pretend his whole thing was just to help people, and eventually people started to figure out what he was really about. I sat with this guy for 4 hours one night and asked him what is his number one goal. And his number one goal is to make more money, to make more money. That's his only goal. It's the same thing he's been asking the whole career path. And what happened is it worked for a while. People bought into it. He became kind of famous. Lots of people love him. Everyone started to trust him. And then lo and behold, it came out. People started to see what was really going on. And as it was really going on, all of a sudden people said, wow, this guy doesn't actually care about people. This guy is only about trying to make money off of everybody. And real quick, as people figured it out, they're losing interest very fast in this human. And that's his reputation. That reputation is going to follow him for his whole life from this point forward. And so I think in sales, another thing that people who are just starting have to remember is whatever you're doing from this point forward is going to follow you your entire life. And therefore, if your great-great-grandchildren are going to watch this and remember by who you were and how you showed up, choose to be the kind of person that you'd be proud of 50 years from now in the future. And do, show up in a way, treat people, care for people, love on people, over-deliver. We have 3 things that we live by as a company, and all of our sales guys and our coaches and our practitioners and our teachers, everyone on our team, we live by 3 things. Number 1, it is really, truly care. Spend time. I talk to people every morning. My favorite in the last couple of weeks was a 12-year-old who was stressing out over her exams in India that are coming up, and we helped her figure out what she wanted to do with her life, and she turned out she wanted to be a pilot, but she said it's too expensive, and her family said that's ridiculous. So we had her find a local airfield and go interview a pilot to figure out what training she needs to become a pilot, and then help map out a plan of what kind of career path she could choose eventually, not right now, but eventually, to earn enough money to make that dream a reality. Now, that might be a 10 or 20-year plan, but we care. I like to help people. She can't do anything for me. She doesn't. There's nothing she can do for my business. But I enjoyed helping that young person that morning. Now, move forward. So, number 1, we love to care about people. Number 2, we have fun. We like having fun. A lot of the things you're talking about here of having to do the habits, the rituals, the consistent things, if you just force it, eventually it sucks and no one wants to do it anymore. If you make it fun, if you laugh about it, you joke about it, you're silly about it, you enjoy it, now you can do it again and again and again and really enjoy the process. So number 1, care. Number 2, have fun. Number 3, over-deliver. Give someone more than what you're expecting or they're expecting. If you charge them $1,000, give them $3,000 worth of value.
That's gonna come back to you. That's gonna come back to you.
But allow it.
Just quickly, Jairek, I want to squeeze in one small ritual.
Please.
I just want to squeeze in another ritual out here. I mean, this is for all the maybe salespeople who are tuned in, listening to you right now. One thing which I found common in all the peak performers in sales is that they might be earning millions every year. They might be earning pretty good. But one thing which is common to all of them is that they know how to take care of their finances. Now, you find a lot of people out there who are in sales who are doing pretty good. They're doing average. But they're minting money, they're making money, their bank balance is going up. But somehow, they're not good with finances. The money is just sitting idle in their bank account. Now, when you distinguish it with the peak performers, and when I've interviewed a lot of them, I've found that they are investing their money somewhere. They're making sure that the money makes some money back for them. Now, it shows their perspective towards money also. Now, the peak performers in sales, another ritual which they follow every week or every month is that they take some time out to study about money. They take time out to study about how to invest money in real estate. They take time out how to invest money in the equity. They take time out to how to invest money in the stock markets. Now, this shows their mindset. This shows that they're serious towards money in life. This also shows that because if you don't know how to make your money work for you further, you can always go up to a certain point in life. And this is something which I found common as a common trait and a ritual which all of these successful salespeople follow on a weekly or a monthly basis. They take time out to study about their investments. So I think we can have multiple perspectives on this, but yes, this is something which I've found that it works for all these people.
It's smart. There's another reason for it. My favorite business mentor that we work with, he owns a bunch of other companies. He owns car washes, pest control businesses, a bunch of other companies. A whole bunch of them. And he was at an event one time going to speak, and one of the other speakers backstage said, "You ever imagine that after buying and selling so many companies your whole life, that eventually you'd make all your money by selling people courses on how to buy and sell companies?" And my friend Keith looked at him and he said, "You gotta be fucking shitting me." He said, "No, I make 90% of my wealth from all the businesses I own." He said, "This is less than 10% of my wealth, and the only reason I'm doing this is because I like to teach people." Now, there's a really important distinction right there. When you're in sales and you take the money you earn and you invest it in the things that make money for you, whether it's property, businesses, investments, whatever, when you make enough money from all the other things that you don't need the money from the next sale, you can now focus on doing 100% what's right for the client. Because if you make the sale, wonderful. You don't make the sale, wonderful. The truth is, you don't need the money. You're only selling them because it's right for them. And that sales with integrity, because now you're in a position. So when I met that man, I made a goal immediately that I want to make sure we set up enough investments and enough income streams so that the majority of our money comes from everywhere else except for the main business that we're running. That way, when someone hires me to work with them as a coach, when someone hires me, to go through our coach training program, or someone hires us to work as a business growth consultant in their business, that money, sure, it's good, but that's not where the majority of our money comes from in our life. And if we can set it up that way, you can forget about trying to sell them because you have to, just to pay your bills or stay afloat. And instead, if it's the right thing, sell them into it. If it's not the right thing for them, don't let them join it. I wanted to join a program that was $55,000 a couple of years ago. And I went to, my business mentor, and I showed him the business we're in. I showed him our numbers. And I said, "Hey, can I join this program?" And he looked at me and said, "Well, what are you trying to do?" And I told him. And he said, "No, you're not ready." He said, "Here's the 3 things I need you to go do before you're ready." And he wouldn't accept my $55,000. He said, "No, you can't invest it here. I'm not interested in that. Instead, I want you to go do these 3 things over the next couple of years, and once they're completed, then come back." We went and applied those things. We ended up making $1 million from applying those things. We came back, and he said, "Okay, now you can join the program."
Right.
Because he didn't need my money.
And this is where, Jairek,
it's a strong place of integrity there, and that sets salespeople apart. When you have the ability to not need the next sale, magic happens, and you'll end up selling way more.
Exactly, Jairek, because magic happens because the peak performers, they're not trying to sell, they're trying to serve, because their investments are in order, their house is in order. They don't have to worry about where the next meal is going to come from. So idea is to move as much as close as possible to this top 1 or 2% bracket. Because once you are there, your work will be impacting and changing the lives of millions.
That's right. Well, sir, I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you for sharing in this conversation. I have a meeting I have to go run to. My wife's going to go if I don't get there in time.
For sure. It's a pleasure.
Your family's well. And for everyone watching live, we will see you tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jairek. Thank you.
times